How's it going, noobs? I decided that it's time that somebody actually gave you some good tips and tricks, not just, target finder. Use the target finder and camp and stuff like that. I'm actually going to be talking against a lot of stuff that you thought might have been a good idea to use. And this isn't really a bad thing, you'll see. The first and biggest thing is actually camping. Don't camp. There should be no need to camp for your kill streaks. If somebody sees you camping in a corner, what do you think they're going to do? Oh, I'm just going to let that guy sit there until he gets to his streaks. No, at least not with me. I hunt somebody down if they're sitting in a corner camping for the kill streaks, especially if they've killed me a couple times right in a row. Camping is not the way to go. You want to try and rush around as much as you can. If you can have good gun skill and stuff, try and even get up into their spawn and rush around. You'll see that's kind of what I do some in this gameplay. This game is actually an 86-4, by the way, in the background. And it's probably my best game to date, actually. I'm working on 100 pluses, but that's not the point of this commentary. Back onto the topic, which is the tips. The Target Finder site isn't that good of a site for what you want to be doing, which is running and gunning. That is for those newer noobs that just sit somewhere in camp and, let their site do all the work, because apparently they need a site to be able to find enemies. I don't know, it's really stupid. I don't know who thought of the Target Finder site, but it's really a stupid attachment. The next tip is, it goes off camping, but just rush around, If you're rushing around, then people won't know where you're at that point, especially if you have Ghost and those other cloaking perks on, which I feel really is what they're for. They're not for sitting in a corner, they're for rushing around, and so that people don't know where you're at that point. Ghost, it's a rushes perk in this game, yet campers still seem to know how to use it right. And there's not quite as much camping as there was in other games, I don't think, but it still exists, because especially since Vandahar moved the UAV score limit up a little bit, it's made it slightly hard to get UAVs, which I think encourage camping a little bit more, which is just stupid. I don't know why you do that. I guess so that there's not as much UAV spammage, but that's why there's a Ghost, isn't it? If you don't want to use Ghost, then, I don't know, use counter UAV or something. But the next thing, the next tip, I guess you can call it, is just to use stuff that works well for you, and at the same time, try and stay away from scrubby stuff like the shotguns. But, when you use stuff that works best for you, it will work better, obviously. But, just try different guns, experiment different things. And just do it to where you can run and gun with ease. I recommend using a submachine gun to run and gun if you are gonna, especially if you're gonna try and get in their spawn a little bit. Definitely use a submachine gun. But there's a couple reasons. The biggest is that it's easiest to pull up, and especially with the PDW and stuff, you can just keep shooting. It has a fast reload time, and it just works all well out together. And there are a couple exceptions. Back to the camping thing real quick. There are a couple exceptions to when you can camp, and that's not the whole game. The times you can camp is pretty much the only time is when you're getting close to a high streak, and even then you don't really want to camp. You just want to play a little bit more laid back, a little bit more passive, and just kind of not necessarily wait for somebody to walk by you, but definitely not rush around either. Because believe me, it's really frustrating when you die off your streaks. It's you don't want that. So yeah, that's about the only time you can camp without feeling bad about it, because you don't want to lose your high streaks. And yeah, that's back to that topic. But I know I'm sorry, kind of going all over the place. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, using stuff that works well for you. Guns. The MSMC I think is the most used submachine gun, maybe. It's either that or the PDW, I think. Scorpion's up there, so try starting out with one of these guns, and it should work out pretty well for you. I know it works out great for me, like all three of them. The next thing is perks. Use what perks work best for you. If you're going to be rushing around, definitely use Ghost. All the other ones are up to you, although I recommend Toughness so that you can win gunfights better, and Scavenger so that you can replenish all your bullets, because if you're going on high streaks, you're definitely going to run out of bullets at some point. So you can either risk picking up somebody else's gun, which is not ideal, or you can just keep getting ammo for your own gun. And the secondary, I personally rarely use a secondary, just because I want, as many perks and attachments on my main gun as I can get. And I like having C4 and a concussion grenade, because they all work well for rushing as well. C4, you don't want to use it necessarily like, I don't know, like a bouncing Betty where you just throw it down, leave it there until somebody wanders by. I use it like a grenade. It's a lot more powerful. You can detonate it when you want, and you know, you can throw it when you want. The only thing is I have quite far of a range as like a frag grenade or a Semtex, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem if you're just getting everybody's faces in their spawn and stuff. So that's like my biggest tips. I still have a little bit more on what works best for you, and the next thing is kill streaks. If you're new to this, you're gonna have a little bit more trouble getting high streaks, so you definitely want to use UAV and lower streaks until you get the feel of the game and can just do alright in it. But this game is wrapping up pretty fast. I cut out the kill streaks so that was a little bit faster of a gameplay, but if you liked the video, like it. If you didn't, dislike it. Share with somebody you think might like it, but until next time, guys, I'll catch y'all later.
Weapons observed.